You are, you are, you are. You are the radiant life of God. How carefully are you using your I am these days? Your divine birthright, your divine name. Be very gentle with yourself, with how you use your I am. How often do you hear yourself saying, I'm starving? Are you really? You may feel hungry, but you're probably not starving. At least no one in this room probably is. It's so powerful when we use our I feel XYZ versus the I am XYZ. Be very careful about what you're affirming into your life, what you are creating through your thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. I want to share with you, if you don't know, Unity Worldwide Ministries, Silent Unity, which is the 24/7 prayer ministry at Unity Village, which was begun back in the late 1880s by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Myrtle specifically, Society of Silent Help, after she went through her healing journey of using her I am very effectively in becoming healed of tuberculosis. Praying for years, every day, chair set up for her, a chair set up for Jesus, going into prayer and forgiving every cell in her body. She had been given I don't like to use, that sounds so grim, but the doctors had told her that there was nothing else they could do for her for the tuberculosis. There were no other treatments. And she found an affirmative way of living that she hadn't found before, and out of that affirmative way of living, which came largely through the pathway of Christian Science and the teachings of Mary Baker Eddy, we now have unity. And Myrtle began praying, and she never stopped. And from the Society of Silent Help to what we now know as Silent Unity, 24/7 prayers unstopped in what is now, this is our 125th anniversary? I don't know, I'd have to look. Don't fact check me on that. On when Silent Unity actually began, not Unity itself. Powerful, powerful healing statements. Powerful prayer. I'm going to share with you, I do share on the e-blast every month, the Silent Unity prayer service. Every day at 11 o'clock, people go to the Silent Unity Chapel for the Silent Unity prayer service back at the village. What I shared with you during meditation was the opening statement. But you can always find this on your e-blast, and you can always find this at unity.org. But rest of the service goes, my mind and heart are steeped in peace, relaxing and breathing easily, my thoughts quiet into peace. My body responds to the signal of peace, and my heart beats in a slow, steady rhythm. In silence, I enter into peace. Peace is the source of all wisdom, life, strength, and love I could ever need. Centered in divine wisdom, I discern my next steps. In the midst of every question and concern, divine wisdom is an active force for my moment-by-moment discernment. I am never without a sense of direction, for God is wisdom. In the quiet of prayer, I open inner space for all that I need to know. Attuned to infinite vitality, I thrive. God is vitality, the energy by which I thrive. Every cell, system, and function of my body responds to infinite vitality. Divine life permeates my thoughts and feelings, intentions, and actions. I choose well-being as I affirm health, wholeness, and vitality. I live richly in appreciation. The prospering power of God is in focus as I appreciate all that I have and all that I desire. I waste not a moment in thoughts of lack. Instead, I celebrate the infinite, irrepressible power of prosperity, and I live abundantly. I am a divine human, worthy and wondrous. Realizing oneness, I claim the full potential of a divine identity. Just as I recognize the divine light in others, I behold the truth that I am here to be a light. I claim my unique talents and abilities. I cultivate the spiritual capacities of peace, wisdom, vitality, and abundance, and shine the light of them in the world. In a consciousness of peace, power, and plenty, we emerge from the silence to broadcast the light of spirit into our day. We envision those for whom we pray, fortified in spiritual truth and thriving in every way. As we pray the prayer for protection, may we claim oneness. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Daily prayer at Unity Village, daily prayer around the world. Are those not powerful words? Those are so powerful. And you can join in every day. Our time, it would be 9 a.m. when they are joined in collective prayer. I remember when I was in seminary, we would, every day before we would go to the Silent Unity Chapel for the prayer service, everything would first stop, and over the speaker system that went throughout the village into every building, there's a tower and the bells, and the bells would chime, and then we would hear Charles Fillmore praying the Lord's Prayer that we have on recording. I think I have shared that with you before. I'll find it again. I know it's up at truthunity.net. The energy of prayer, the energy of affirmation, the energy of a creative thought, of holding yourself in wholeness, in health, in abundance of all good things. So as I've been working on this talk, I have more than a dozen slides of affirmations. I'll probably flip through them. Each one of them could be their own talk. But as I was sitting with this, what just became very, very clear to me, I feel about the law of mind action, which is actually the law of vibration. You'll hear it being referred to as that, the law of vibration. Where are you vibrating? What frequency are you vibrating at? And you will often hear me say, what are you feeding the field? What frequency are you putting out into the world? And as I was with this material coming to me and going through different books, I was just going through my bookshelf. Wallace Wattles, Mary Morrissey, Catherine Ponder, Florence Scovel Shinn, Charles Fillmore, Myrtle, Emily Cady, on and on and on, let alone so many, many others, right? And it came to me that the power of affirmation and the process that we use is very similar to how I feel about meditation. You can find many meditation teachers and many methods of meditation, but only you can find your key, the way that works for you. We can sit in the silence and visualize our third eye. We can do our mudras. We can say our mantras. I like one model I like is the contemplative model that I learned, that when you're sitting in the silence, you're in meditation and you find your mind wandering. Imagine that you're sitting on a riverbank and you're watching the boats float down the river. And all of a sudden you're on one of the boats being your thoughts. And you just very gently bring yourself back to the riverbank. That's a fun one. But you have to find your way. You have to find what works for you. Does that make sense? I mean, for my lifetime, I have played with this. Being raised in a church where meditation was a formal part of who we were and what we did. And I have tried so hard to do it the way that they tell me to do it. But if it doesn't match my vibration, it's not going to work for me. So we find that place where we are gentle. We can have lots of tools, but you still have your favorite wrench, don't you? You still have your favorite screwdriver that feels just right in your hand. So healing affirmations, finding a way that works best for you to create the life that you want to live. So I want to share with you, again, as I was being with this talk and thinking about this and the idea that we each have our own individual way. And I kept hearing in my mind, call Janie. What would Frank do? Now I know that there are many of you in this room that didn't know Frank McMillan, and I'm sharing this with permission of Janie. And I didn't get to know Frank very long. He chose to leave the world after I was here just about a year. So I was just getting to know Frank, but many of you have a deep and close relationship with this wonderful man. And Janie would talk often about how he had the power of manifestation, an unwavering faith. So I'm going to share with you one of my favorite stories about Frank and the piano. Haywood, you probably know the story about the piano. More than likely you've heard it. So Frank McMillan, being a musician, really wanted a piano. He was stationed in Hawaii at the time, and he wanted a piano. He wanted, I think it's a baby grand, am I right? And Janie's gone, what? Wait, a piano? And he goes, no, I want a piano. So he chose the place in the house where the piano was to be, the space in the room, and he saw that piano. He knew absolutely Frank had unwavering faith in what it was he was desiring. And this, I believe, is a key to manifesting our desires. Nothing else could go in the space of where that piano would one day live. So it looked like just an empty space in the house. And he instructed the children, Vincent, Chet, and Kim, that when you vacuum the house, you vacuum around the piano. You just don't vacuum through the room. You vacuum around the piano. But the piano also, underneath the piano also needs to be vacuumed. So when, an upright vacuum, so when you're vacuuming under the piano, you actually take the vacuum down and vacuum, do the whole body motion and vacuum under the piano. And it's like, you got it, Daddy. That's what we're doing. I forget how much time it took, but one day, a friend of theirs in Hawaii called and said, I'm moving back stateside, and I need a home for my baby grand piano. It's almost paid for. If you take over the payments, it's yours. Frank got his piano. He knew in his heart that that piano was his. And it was, all he had to do was just stay clear and sure and allow his vibration to stay in the vibration, to stay in the frequency of that which he was wanting. And then when they got moved and stationed here at Castle, then the Air Force moved the piano. The woman couldn't afford to move the piano herself, that's why they got it. But they were able to bring the piano, and it still sits in the living room. The power of being clear, unwavering, to stay the course. And when Janie and I were talking yesterday and I was making notes, let it be easy. Stay out of resistance and stay on course. Do not waver. If it's yours by divine right. But then also allow for this or something better. I wish I had had more time with Frank. But I still feel his wisdom. And I still see him sitting right back there where Mike is. Would he sit by the door or would he be in the pew? Both, back and forth. He was the first person you'd see when he would show up. A beautiful, beautiful consciousness that we can, he's still our teacher is what I'm trying to say. But pay attention to what frequency you're vibrating at. Pay attention to what it is you're bringing into your life. Pay attention to what you're putting back out into the world. Now that's Frank's story of getting his piano, and there are many others. His bicycle, his truck, on and on and on. And Janie would just go, okay. And wait for the fun. So if that works in physical objects, it also works within our physical beings and the health and life of who we are. I used this affirmation last week with not only shall I walk in this light, I shall radiate it, I shall vibrate with it, I shall send it out into the world. This is one of Janie's favorite affirmations. I am the nature of God. So we're moving here from the physical, material things of life to the very physical, material thing of life called your body and your health and well-being. The nature of my body, the nature of my whole body is perfect health. And I'm happy to give you these affirmations if you let me know, and I will email them to you. Healthy am I, happy am I, holy am I. That's yours, Terry. I love it. Healthy am I, happy am I, holy am I. How much more simple does it get than that? I am not a body. I am free. I am as God created me. I am as God created me in the light and the love and the glory. And that's, I believe, Michael Stilwell wrote that song. From Gary Renard, you are, I put in parentheses, I am spirit, pure and innocent. All is forgiven and released. How beautiful is that? I am spirit, pure and innocent. All is forgiven and released. If I were to give you steps, this is what I would give you. Decide on what it is that you are wanting, what is calling to you, and then know that it is yours. The deciding and the knowing are two different things. Know it, feel it, and then practice experiencing it. Chet and Vincent and Kim absolutely experienced the feeling of their father's piano. And this or something better. Because we don't know what Spirit has in store for us. It may be even more wondrous than what our human minds can conceive of. And I shared this with you already, but I love it so much. Attuned to infinite vitality, I thrive. God is vitality, the energy by which I thrive. Would you please affirm this with me? Attuned to infinite vitality, I thrive. God is vitality, the energy by which I thrive. Every cell system and function of my body responds to infinite vitality. Divine life permeates my thoughts and feelings, intentions and actions. I choose well-being as I affirm health, wholeness, and vitality. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let it be easy. Stay out of resistance. Stay out of fear. Stay the course. And we do that by feeling the joy of what it is that we're wanting. If you have a challenge staying out of resistance and staying out of the fear, turn on YouTube videos of babies laughing, right? Or whatever your jam is that just releases the endorphins in your body. You know, mine could be playing songs by Kansas. Carry on, my wayward son, there will be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. What were we singing before? What you guys were, you
I
three.
feel good.
I feel good. Yeah. Actually, maybe would you mind in a moment doing that for us as we go into you three? And if I really had my way, Candace would be here riffing that on her guitar, and Kelly and Kimberly would be up here doing the backup singing because they were really cool. But find the things that bring you joy. And this is my power place. For you, it may be another way, but for me, I just keep getting called back into the silence, back into the stillness. That is my creative place. Allow for the stillness, for in the stillness is my strength. And this is how every week in prayer group, we do what we do. We come together, we chit-chat, we check in, we have our opening blanket prayer statement. We have the names and places and situations of the people that we are praying with. And then we do our readings, and then Janie prays. And she always ends with, we know that this is so, and we send it out to the ethers, knowing that it will not come back to us void. And so it is, and we give thanks.